then each group could discuss a quote that I'm going to hand out, and then we could report back from our groups about what we got. So what kind of mood are y'all in terms of discussions? You want to play it loose? You want to play groups? You want to
play it loose?
We want groups.
You are a group.
You are a group.
Let's vote. Groups.
Well, okay.
Groups.
The only reason why I said that is
Groups.
Okay.
Everyone in the entire room discussion? You vote twice.
Oh,
the only reason why I spoke up is because everywhere I go, I'm usually the only brother in the room.
Come to DC.
Believe me, I've been there. Charlie Rangel was a good friend of mine. But anyway, it's interesting to me, having grown up here in Tacoma. Okay. In 1944, all the black troops could only live in Salisbury. And then my grandfather, Joe Jordan, became a realtor and made it possible for people to move to the hilltop. But in the hilltop, everybody got along. I mean, we had Norwegians, we had Filipinos, we had Italians, we had Greeks, we had Native Americans, we had everything, all around Tacoma Community House, which I went to kindergarten there and became a board president later. But the whole point is, from my lens, okay, we never saw the differences, in terms of color, in terms of, it was a family. And that old expression of it takes a village to raise a child, that was really, the way we proceeded. So then when did it change? Well, it started in 1964. And my mom builds a nice house out in the north end, round house. The next thing you know, we got eggs thrown at it, and I mean, we're talking Tacoma, all right? And so the worst, well, I'll just say straight up, I mean, I was the only black male in that school for 2 years. And then Giadroni passed with the board to do open enrollment. So then all of a sudden the school started to integrate. Then after that, there's a lot more in there. I think those of you that are from Tacoma know. Then after that, college and the Vietnamese War. So there, a lot of my, fortunately, I had a high number. Plus I was the sole surviving son, so I didn't have to go to Vietnam. But many of my friends, black, white, green, yellow, purple, polka dot, did, and they died. But at the same time, the chaos, as predicted, will come to order at some point in time. The question is, the world order is being disrupted already for many reasons, but the whole world's dysfunctional. So it's the dysfunction that creates a chaos that therefore puts us in a position of fear. So I have no fear. I know my journey is probably already mapped out. Maybe it's one reason what led me here today, I don't know. Divine appointment. So I said all that to say this. If I went through life with people putting labels on me and I accepted it, I would be doing myself a disservice. And I would inhibit myself from being able to help somebody else. So the longevity of my spiritual path is to just keep touching people's lives with positive thoughts. You got negative, positive, light, dark. You can't have one without the other. You can't have evil without peace. One thing that is in common on this world order that's coming is love. It has everything to do with a universal physiological aspect of our, I heard somebody here, a statistician, you know, but of the physics of the planet and what else is going on in our universe. So an asteroid could be big enough, all right? But you got rock, you got metal. The most famous is metal. You can find scraps of metal, you know, foot under the ground and mine it, I guess. So there's another thing going on. I mean, if I'm in a Hubble that can 370 light years into 3 galaxies in the future, all the way out to a planet called Tau Ceti, you know, then I've got to stay grounded and be ready for the unpredictable. So that's all I can say is, you know, don't sell yourself short. Don't go around with fear, because it's like an animal. You know, an animal smells fear. Ooh.
It reacts.
Yeah.
It can't help it.
Yeah. You know, so just be comfortable in your own skin, I always say. And as a filmmaker, actor, and all that stuff, credits, my lens is always focused on the many colors of the rainbow.
There's the Universal House of Justice. This is a body that's been invested by Baha'i and endued with the spiritual significance by God. And I'm standing on these steps, and with all the other pilgrims, a bunch of children, there's clouds pushing in over the shrine at the bottom, and it's raining. Very beautiful, right? The sun's kind of shining through. Next thing you know, you see these 2 rainbows start forming over the shrine at the bottom. Mm-hmm. It's really significant because in the faith we call it the twin luminaries for the bottom and the whole line. So of course I'm getting very excited. I'm rounding up all the kids. I'm saying, look at these rainbows, you know. And then I'm explaining to them in Genesis 13, you know, during the flood of Noah, you know, after the flood, the sign of the rainbow was God's sign to man that he would never wipe humanity off the face of the earth again. So, speaking of rainbows, it is a sign of hope. And the best sign for hope today is the revelation that Baha'i brought. And I truly believe that. And I've seen it in signs, and I've seen it just now in you, what you just described. So, I truly believe that the spiritual destiny is not just America, but the world itself is heading in the right direction, regardless of what's happening.
Yeah, it's going to be a trial.
Yeah.
You know, well, I could, you know, just stay away from politics.
Smart.
This whole.
And I have like something to like talk about too. Like, he was talking about like all the names that he gets called. Like, I've been called names too. You know, the most racist thing that I've ever been called was an N-word, but with an ER. And I mean,
It's not in the dictionary, by the way.
it is a really, really bad word. I mean, I wasn't offended by it, but at the same time I was, because I mean, you don't just go around calling people that, because if you like, you're lucky I'm not like, they were lucky that I wasn't the person to just like punch him in their face when I said that to me. I just like brushed it off, and I was like, you know what, just do me. I know who I am, you know. I've been called like all sorts of names, like names that are bad. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I know who I am, I know what I do, and I'm just do me. And if you're not happy with that, I'm sorry that you have a sad life. Like, I can't change that about you. Like, I don't know, like it's retarded that people like call people names, like.
Yeah.
Cause I mean I do that, but like in a playful way, like to my friends that they know that I play. Yeah, heard. but I won't say something that's going to actually offend someone that's, like, if they're Mexican, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a bad, because that's disrespectful, and I wasn't raised disrespectful. I was raised to know the person on the inside and not how they look or how they dressed or how much money they have or the religion and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really happy with. That, yeah, because I'm like here with all you guys. But I don't understand, because if you call someone something that is disrespectful, you don't know what they're going through, because they can go home and do some crazy stuff. Or they can come to a school and do some crazy stuff, because that's been going on lately, like school shootings and stuff like that. Yeah, like it's really, really bad.
Sticks and stones will break my bones.
But words will never hurt me.